Hello, Cliff Stanwick, Stanwick Real Estate, and today we are taking a deep dive into the 2023 home prices for South Placer County in California. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to going over the market data. It's pretty interesting. At the end of 2022, there was a lot of doom and gloom about a housing bubble due to the recession, the interest rates, which looked like they were going to go above 7%, and a lot of what I like to call fear, uncertainty, and doubt about the housing market. And it seems right now, as I share my screen, that the message is changing, and I don't necessarily agree with just a Google search of the Sacramento housing market. And this is a general point I want to make is, some of these stories are really kind of ridiculous, right? Sellers have been sitting out of the housing market, but the data in Roseville is there's more pending sales than a year ago. So, this isn't due to inventory. This is a lack of inventory or unreasonable selling prices. We have a very active market. And this nonsense of, the housing market went from an ice bath to a hot shower. Housing market at the end of every year is slow, right? And this story on the local news, the inventory is going to be great for buyers. You'll see when we dig into the data that isn't true at all, right? And this whole thing about how the pandemic changed the housing market. Again, my quick little comment on this was the housing market. Is more of a normal market now. And I would sit there and say that the online experience for attracting buyers to look at your listing is probably the biggest change. And that's the most significant change is, people are making decisions to look at your house based on the online marketing, right? And, the real estate market cooling, I think, again, that's about perspectives, right? And it goes on and on. It's not just home price; rents are dropping too. All this information that is out there, on the web, you really need to question it and probably discount it because the reality is home prices in any market is further broken down by where you're buying the house, like what city it's in. And then it's also broken down where the price point is, what your budget is, right? And so the first thing I'm going to share with you is basically all the pending homes in Roseville, okay? And basically there's 171 pending homes. There's only 201 active homes. That means basically there's only 5 weeks of inventory, right? So again, and I'm going to share some other data here. The numbers that are out there, there is not an inventory bubble. And what we're seeing in the entire market that homes are selling, half the homes are gone in 35 days, right? And then the median, that's the median. And the average home of all the inventory is 49 days, right? And that's where pricing comes into impact, right? So again, that's the information that we're seeing, right? But again, when you take a look at the data, right? These are all the pending homes. There's 4 pages of it, right? Here's a house that was 249 days on the market, but 9 days, 7 days, 12 days, 4 days, 11 days, 2 days, 4 days, 10 days, 6 days, 19 days, 5 days, 2 days, 9 days, 5 days. And, I've gone over this on the on other YouTubes that, the market is definitely changing, right? But again, when you look at the entire market, you get a false sense of what's really happening, right? You look at it and it's like, oh, in January, the average active price is 724, but the average sold price is 639. Well, people forget that a year ago, okay, a year ago, the houses were even less money, and here in January 23, they're even more money. So a year ago they're 707, they're 724. It doesn't look like a discount, right? Now the other thing is the sale price is a little bit lower, but it's only down 4% versus a year ago, right? And that's kind of looking at the stats. That's what I'm trying to share with you here, is that this market is not in a free fall. And, it's also where we're talking about how affordability has been impacted, right? And so another piece of this chart, which is really interesting, is again the months of inventory. And as I shared with you before, um, I told you in this chart, it says there's 2.6 months of inventory, but as I said before, this is Roseville. These are all the houses. When you look at the amount of active homes versus pending homes, there's 201 active homes. There's 171 pending homes. When you divide the pending or the active by the pending, that's your months of inventory. You're really down where you were essentially a year ago. Here you are, you were 1.1. You're right at this 1.2 level, and that's in spite of the interest rates. And if we talk about the interest rates are hovering right around 6%. In the spring a year ago, around April, May, they were around 5.3. So obviously, lenders are getting a little creative and trying to work in some incentives and some buy downs, and you can buy your rate down by a half a point or so, and that's probably where you're seeing some of the discounts here is essentially in some of the seller credits for the stuff. But again, that's also keeping the prices up a little bit. So let's take a look when we kind of, one of the huge parts of this video is to talk about micro markets, right? So we know the inventory is super tight, but let's look at essentially the affordable market in Roseville. The affordable market in Roseville, which is in this case is under 500,000. There was 30 homes actually under 500,000, and if you look at the data, half of those are gone in 20 days. Okay, and all of them are gone pretty much in 49 days. But if you look at the average price, it's 470. If you look at the median price, it's 477. So this isn't an indication of a soft market, right? And that's the micro market. Now let's look at the toughest market to sell. This is the 500 to 800,000 market, and why it's tough to sell is because it's primarily the resale market. These are people that are not first-time buyers, but they're resale buyers, or they're move-up buyers, or what you would think are move-up. I think that's kind of gone away. But what happens in that market is we basically have 116 pending homes, right? It's still a pretty active market, right? It's a big chunk of the middle, and those homes are selling in 40 days. But the biggest challenge here is of this market getting back into the pending homes is that when you look at the pendings, and we're going to look at that right now, this is where you're seeing all the time on market. Okay, that middle part where you're seeing in certain areas, especially here. Here's a house that's been on the market 712. It's been on the market for 123 days. Here's another one that's been on for 98, originally 189 days, 62, right? 129. So again, this is really about sellers who have overpriced their house and have missed the market, and they're just out there hoping somebody will buy it. And that's because, yes, if they are relocating in the area, they're going to be paying much more for their mortgage. So that's really the dysfunction in the 5 to 800 market. So if you're looking for a part of the market that's very challenging for a seller, it's the 5 to 800. If you look at the market where, especially in the in the pending part of the market, there's a ton of pending homes. So it really gets down to um, there's three different markets, right? So let's look at the high end market because, again, that may surprise you. The high end market is very robust, and the average price is 976, and half the prices are higher or lower is 939. The maximum sale that's pending is almost 1.4 in Roseville. So this market, is not falling apart, at all. But and when you look at the data, these houses are going out and they're getting an offer in 20 days. So what is really the takeaway on this market is buyers are very sophisticated and they know the market most of the time better than the sellers. And my encouragement for sellers is you need to understand what the true market value of your house is. And yes, some features are going to add significantly to the value. Pools are right now are about $100,000. I know that seems ridiculous, but any house with a pool is selling in 2 days and multiple offers. It's not like it's a lot over like it was 5 or 10%, but they are selling in a couple days and they're going fast. Homes with updates and remodels are selling very quickly. Vacant houses, which again is in another video, is a surprising condition to sell your house quickly. If it looks like you're gone, they realize that when that house closes in 30 days, that it's going to be theirs. And when they make an offer, they know there's not going to be any extension of contingencies because you haven't found a replacement house or a place to live. So vacancies are really driving the bus. But also in the middle part of the market, a lot of activity is new homes and also a segment of the 55 plus communities that are in Roseville. That's a big part of the sales. So sellers are typically in that price range. They're overpricing their house, and it's causing them to be on the market for a long time. Luxury homes, that's just a different part of the market. They're newer. They usually have a lot of amenities. They have pools. They have solar. Those houses are going super quick as long as they don't have a really optimistic, last year's price on it. They are moving as well. So that is basically how you need to look at home prices. Is you've got to stay away from these news stories and thinking that the numbers are, that there's anything that you should trust or believe. You really need to become an expert on the market. If you're a seller, you need to be a buyer. The buyers know the market. You price it right from the standpoint that you understand that your home is going to sell for $750,000 if it has pool and solar in the 5 to 800,000 range. You're going to be very successful in this market, and the buyers are out there. The activity is up, and it's going to be surprisingly much like a train. The momentum is building, and there's going to be pretty robust and active by April. And if the rates go down, it's might even be scary. So with that, I'm going to tie up this video. I want to thank you for your time. If there's anything I can do to help you, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube. If you like this type of content and you want to see more, please leave a comment. I really want to share good information that's data-driven and will help everybody in the real estate world. And again, I thank you for your time, and I wish you all the best in your real estate search. Thank you.